Hey, seventh grade. So our learning target for today is I can solve two-step equations using inverse operations. So we're going to be talking about that hand method again today, and we'll be on page 17. Okay, so let's just think about what we're trying to do when we solve an equation. When we solve an equation, we say the hand method. We put this stop sign on the variable. What that really means is we're trying to find the value of the variable. So if we cover it with our hand and we were to unveil the answer, that's kind of what our goal is what is underneath my hand? What number could I put in that stop? So we're really trying to find a solution or an answer by getting the variable or the letter alone. That's what we're doing with that stop sign, is we're saying, let's just try to get this all by itself. So the hand method kicks in, which is called inverse operations. Let's just kind of remember the operations that we've talked about so far that are inverses. We know that add and subtract are inverses. They're opposites. The way we get rid of addition is we subtract, and the way we get rid of subtraction is we add, known as inverse operations. And we also know that multiplication and division are inverse operations. Those are the four that we've been doing the last couple days. These are the four that we're going to be hitting again today in our work. In later units, when we get to the geometry unit, we're going to be talking about that the square of something, the power of 2 something, is the opposite as taking the square root of something. But that's for later unit 5, we will hit those. Okay, so what we need to understand in the order of operations basically is this. We're always doing the order of operations backwards. So to solve the equation, we're actually going subtraction, addition, division, multiplication, and so on, working backwards. That's just kind of an FYI. Some teachers teach it that way, that we're going to go order of operations backwards. I will be doing the same process, but I teach it with the strategy of the hand method. So we are really undoing the math. So we are reversing the order of operations in our work today. I just use different language, but that is what we're doing. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, working it backwards because we're trying to find the value of the variable. Okay, so here we go with this hand method that we've been doing for the last couple days. First thing I do is draw an equal sign. I know that the left side equation has to equal or be the same as the right side. So that left side somehow has to equal 2 because that's what the right side is. We are going to start by saying stop, chop, chop. I said no. We stop, chop, chop. And then we take our hand and we cover the variable y. Notice though, this time we have a 3 times my hand, the variable y, and I have a plus -4. I have 2 things going on this time, which is called a 2-step equation. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to make my hand a little bit bigger. Make my hand a little bit bigger and cover all of that. Now the opposite of plus -4, well, we have to get rid of it. The closest sign wins. The closest sign to the 4 right now is the negative. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this sign. And I'm going to do the opposite of -4, which is to add 4. Copy, paste. All right. As we work from left to right now, if we haven't used it, we drag it down. So that whole term, 3y, comes down with us, 3y. We have a -4 and a +4, which becomes 0. And on the right-hand side, we have 2 plus 4. Well, 2 plus 4 is the same thing as 6. All right, so now our variable y, we're going to go ahead and cover that with our hand. The operation right now is multiplication. We're going to try to get rid of that 3 by division, copy, paste. If I haven't used it, I drag it down. Well, what can I drag down still? Just the y. This 3 divided by 3 becomes 1. On the other hand side, we get a 2, so we have 1y equals 2. Our job is to get the y totally alone, so we could divide by 1, copy, paste. Or in my class, we can just go ahead and turn that into a box, because division by 1 does not change the problem. Answer is y equals 2. Now what we really should do at this point is to do that check step. So I'm going to go ahead and erase this up here so we have some room to work. We're going to take that 2 and we're going to substitute back in. You're more than welcome to use your calculator on this step. So that's 3 multiplied by 2 minus 4. Does that equal 2? You can, again, you can use your calculator. Substitution. Put the 2 in where the y is. 3 times 2 is 6. Minus 4 equals 2. So I'll go ahead and highlight that check step, just making sure that my answer is correct. That's called the hand method. 2-step equation, you can see the 2 steps happening. All right, guys, moving over to this side. What we have to say here is that the 2x plus 3 somehow has to make a 7, so we have to figure out the value of x. Some of you can do this in your head, but your job is to use the hand method. So I'm going to go find my hand from over here, and I'm going to cover the variable x. Now I have a 2 multiplied by my hand, and I have a plus 3. So wherever my hand is, I have to cover all of that. My job is to get rid of the plus 3. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract 3. Copy, paste. Now the minute in my class we copy, paste, we need to draw a line to separate that. That's one step. We just did a step. Every time we have a copy, paste, we've just done a step. Okay. As we go here, we say if I haven't used it, I drag it down. Haven't used it, drag it down. So we end up with, whoops, sorry about that. We end up with a 2x. We have 3, take away 3 is 0. That has to happen every time. And on the right-hand side, we have 7 minus 3, which is 4. The hand method kicks in here. We cover the variable with our hand. The operation right there is multiplication. So we're going to go ahead and divide by 2, copy, paste. We end up with 1x equals 2. Now we could divide by 1, copy, paste here. Otherwise, in my class, we can just turn that in the box because division by 1 does not change the problem. Answer is x equals 2. You should use substitution and plug back in. Is it true that 2 times 2 plus 3 equals 7? Well, yeah, let's see. 2 times 2 is 4 plus 3 equals 7. All right, guys, moving on. I stop, chop, chop. Hand method kicks in. We take our hand, cover the variable, negative 9x. My job is to get rid of plus negative 6. Closest sign wins. The sign closest to the 6 is negative, so we're going to use that. My job is to get rid of the negative 6, so I'm going to add 6, copy, paste. Now, again, the minute we copy, paste, we draw a line to separate the step. That shows that we've done one step. If we haven't used it, drag it down. We get negative 9x. On the right-hand side, we get 27. Okay, we take our hand, cover the variable x. We have a multiplication sign here. We have negative 9 times x. X has to be totally alone. Right now, negative 9 is married to it. We have to get rid of it. The opposite of multiplication is division, so we're going to divide by negative 9. The whole thing has to go because x has to be totally alone. Variable 2. Copy, paste. All right, here we go. On the left-hand side, negative 9 divided by negative 9 is 1. The variable is x. If I haven't used it, I drag that down. And on the right-hand side, I have a triangle problem. I have positive 27, negative 9. Answer is negative 3. Now, we could divide by 1, copy, paste on this step, but it's not necessary in my class. We can just go ahead and box that in. Substitution kicks in. We should take our answer, negative 3, and substitute back in to make sure that that is correct. And it is, but that's your job kind of in your work. I just don't want the video to get too long here. All right, 7th grade, let's do this next one. Order of operations backwards is what we're doing when we solve an equation. So we take our hand and cover the variable. Trying to get this hand to move over here. The variable this time is y. Well, we cover it. Looks a little bit different there. Now, anything by my hand has to go. But we have to do the thing for this away first. We're going to cover all of that. We have to get rid of the plus 2 first because it's furthest away. The opposite of plus 2 is minus 2. Copy, paste. And in my class, whenever we copy, paste, we draw a line to separate the step. If I haven't used it, I drag it down. So we have y divide by 3. We have 2, take away 2, which is 0. On the right-hand side, we have negative 14 minus 2. If you need your calculator on that step, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, that turns into a stop, chop, chop, which is negative 16. All right, as I start to solve now, remember the variable is y, so we have a stop sign there. The opposite of divide by 3 would be multiply by 3. So we're going to multiply nice and high. Copy, paste. 3 and those 3's cancel. We end up with a 1, y on the left. And this is a triangle problem over here, which ends up being negative 48. Divide by 1, copy, paste. We end up with y equals negative 48. Y equals negative 48. Substitution kicks in. We can plug it back in and see how we do. All right, guys, how we doing? 2 left. This is called the hand method. We're going to keep rolling with this. Anytime we have a variable in there with an equal sign, so it's called an equation, a variable with an equal sign, we want to use the hand method. So we're going to take our hand, cover the variable x. Now, there's 2 things going on in this problem. There's this divide by negative 4, and there's this plus 12. The thing that's furthest away from my hand has to go first. So I'm gonna cover all of that as a giant stop sign. The positive 12, sign in front is positive, has to go first. The opposite of positive 12 is subtract 12, copy paste. Whenever we copy paste, we draw a line to separate the step. That shows one step has been completed. Okay, guys, here we go. On the left-hand side, we have 0. If I haven't used it, I drag it down. Well, what's under there? We have an X. Divide by -4. You should just be using your hand to cover, your finger to cover. I'm going to use my entire hand here. We have 20 minus 12, which is 8. My job is to get the variable totally alone. So I put the stop sign there on the X. Anything by my hand has to go. The operation right now is division. To get rid of the division, we multiply nice and high by -4. I'm going to change color here so it's a little bit easier to see the operation. That's operation of multiplication. Copy, paste. That turns into a 1. If I haven't used it, drag it down. The variable X comes down with me. On the right-hand side, we have a triangle problem. That's 8 times 4. Triangle problem is -32. On this step, I can divide by 1, copy, paste. Answer is X equals -32. You can substitute back in, and you will make sure that you have the correct answer there. All right, 7th grade, our last problem of the day. Here we go, hand method. Now remember, you're not doing these in your head. I don't care if you can do them in your head. The learning target today is that you can show inverse operations, which is really the hand method. Okay, so here we go. We find the variable. We find the variable X. There it is. Now there are two things going on. We have a -2 multiplied by X, and we have a +7. The furthest thing away has to go. So that +7 is going to have to go. We're not worried about the other side of the equation right now. We subtract 7, copy, paste. Whenever we do a step, we draw a line to separate. Copy, paste. Draw a line. If I haven't used it, I drag it down. We have -2x equals, we have 15 minus 7, which is 8. Hand method kicks in. I take my hand, cover the variable X. The operation is multiplication. To get rid of it, we would divide by all of that, by that -2. Copy, paste. On the left-hand side, we have a 1. X equals, on the right-hand side, we have a triangle problem, which is -4. Go ahead and box in that answer. Answer is -4. Go ahead and check to make sure that that's there. Okay, so for our summary today, just kind of think about what we did. We're using the hand method every time. Every time we're using the hand method, and make sure that you're checking your solution. Make sure you plug it back in to make sure everything's good to go. Okay, 7th grade. So your homework assignment then for tonight is to, hold on, I have to take a peek here. Sorry, guys. Your homework for tonight is, it looks like just to do page 18. Yes, correct. Your homework assignment for tonight is to do all of page 18, hand method. I expect to see vertical lines drawn, copy, paste. I expect to see that you've checked your answer. You've plugged it back in and made sure that the correct answer is there. It is inverse operations. Nothing should be done in your head, even if you know what the correct answer is. You need to prove it to me using inverse operations. Have a fabulous night, 7th grade.